today's pod, we are talking about Shopify and AI. We're talking about how to audit your 3PLs, and we're talking about long-term storage fees on Amazon. What to plan for this next Q3, and making sure you're not getting too many fees. But let's start off. What's the first topic? Go ahead and jump into that one, Gabe, and then let's see what comes out of it.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, David, we talked about this a little bit, and it's actually pretty cool. OpenAI, Shopify, like the storefronts. We've spoken, and most operators we have just talked with have not touched their PDPs in like a while. Just want to discuss with you, is this something that we should care about this quarter, or is this like a future next year problem?
Man, I would say no, definitely not next year. Just off the bat, by the time next year happens, there's going to be 2-3 other changes that need to be made, and you're going to be just trying to get caught up with it all. So this is a right here, right now. And even there's so many changes. OpenAI said they're going to do this whole checkout system within Shopify, this big collaboration. And I think just a few weeks ago, they pulled out. They're like, no, we're done. We're not going to do that. OpenAI is changing a lot of things. Sora is no longer in the picture anymore. That's getting phased out, and everybody watched these fake Sora videos online, and you look for that little Sora logo. Oh, that's AI, but we always get tricked in the beginning of that hook, right? So they're making a lot of changes across the board in general. And that one step checkout system with Shopify is, as of right now, no more. So I wouldn't wait. There's a ton that needs to happen there. But to give you a little bit more background on this, like the PDP side of things, like people aren't adjusting for the AI search. They're still thinking of this as a singular search. So meaning they're thinking of this as, I'm only going to be updating for SEO. But instead of just SEO, there's a different kind of search engine out there now, which is AI, across many different platforms. And AI is kind of integrating itself into the business side of things, the consumer side of things. Like everybody uses it. It's like the new Google now. And so because everybody uses it to search, we're going to need to update our PDPs for that as well. And to kind of elaborate on it, I go back to the story that we were talking about when AI was first releasing, because have you ever had a grandma? I mean, you and I share the same grandmas, but have you had a grandma, to the audience, that has, you look at how they search things on Google, and you're like, why are you talking to Google that way? Why are you using full sentences, right? When you Google something, usually you just say like a Miami Heat score. Let me see the score. But when you talk to AI, you use full sentences now. So now all the grandmas out there are like, I told you so. This is how you're supposed to search. You're like, what was the score of last night's game with Miami Heat, right? That's how you usually use AI. So now, as a marketer, as a brand owner, you kind of have to switch hats, kind of have to think of something different. You have to be, what are people going to be searching inside of AI, ChatGPT, Claude, etc.? And then what do I need to represent there? So if they're going to be searching for it, and we did this test with the client just barely. We did a test and we couldn't find it, right? And so the funny thing is how I resolved this problem. But I went in and asked for it. Hey, we have a client that sells blue spirulina capsules. Hey, I'm looking for blue spirulina capsules for X, Y, and Z reason. Let's see what pulls up. It gives me 3 options in GPT. It's like, okay, none of those 3 options are good. And make sure that I only want blue spirulina, right? And so I go in and try to refine it a little bit more. A few more options. Some of them are the same, but still not our clients. I'm like, okay, let me see what's going on, because I've updated this. I know what it should be. And then I go in one more time, say, I'm looking for small businesses. I want to support small business, blah, 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 blah. Brand new, whole new suite of competitors, still no answer. Now, this is going to look bad on us, but I'm thinking, okay, how do I rethink this? And then I finalized the whole prompt with, hey, I've been testing you. This is my client, X, Y, and Z. I'm trying to figure out why you didn't recommend my client in search. I need you to give me back a whole action list, a to-do list, whatever, and then itemize every little aspect and what you're looking for to make this happen, right? And then it gave me this whole audit of like 2 pages of why it pulled up our competitors and why it didn't pull up our brand, right? And so I'm thinking, wow, that's crazy. This is what we need to do. And then some of those things, like one, because the reason changes, it hasn't been indexed, et cetera, et cetera. Indexing is going to change, right? And so I'm like, okay, let's give it some time. Let's make it index. Let's trigger those indexes with AI somehow. Let's make sure that in the PDP, now luckily it's a similar SKU, but for those like some of our apparel clients, let's make sure that it's so easy to have variations built out. It's so easy to have the sizes built out. It's like all of the keywords are there answering the same questions that is being asked for. And it gets me thinking, instead of just building out our PDPs the same way that we always have been doing, which is keyword basis, let's build them out as if we're writing a blog. And blogs are more long form. They're more, here's a bunch of questions from the SERP page, right? Like most frequently asked questions on Google. That's how we need to build our PDP pages now. And we got to make sure not only that, but also the indexing and formatting of the listings is super easy to read. Now you're thinking, yeah, we should already do this, but we kind of convoluted and made this whole thing a little bit more complicated than it need to be. We kind of have to dumb that down a little bit. So we're doing these audits for our clients, and I'm finding a lot of ways to win so that they're now populating on ChatGPT, and so that we're indexing on those searches. The only difference is that ChatGPT already kind of understands the need state of their user, and every user is a little different. So you're not going to exactly find it, but at the end of the day, it wants to provide the best information to you. So it hopefully will provide you to the best customer instead of everybody, right? Because you don't want everybody. You want the customer that's going to buy. You want that person. And so from an awareness standpoint, maybe not there, but from a conversion standpoint, it's possibly that this is kind of the future of search and we need to be prepared for it. Sorry, Gabe, that was a very long-winded answer for it, but there's so much going on. It's kind of difficult to just summarize it just simply, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. It seems like it's becoming its like own Amazon kind of space. It's kind of crazy. I think I had another question for you. You definitely went into detail, but maybe for listeners, just so they can like turn to this time, what does this actually mean for a seller on Shopify today? Like, is this important? Like, just give me a yes if that's easiest.
No, I know it is a yes. It's definitely a yes for that one. It is important. The issue now that people are seeing is like, I spent so much work on building my PDPs and doing the audits and paying the money for these, right? And I kind of have to switch it. It is super important to stay on top of that. We just finished off a conference, and there's a lot of resources though that will help other people out there. So yeah, keep that going. Keep pushing forward towards this new search engine optimization.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah, I mean, we can move on to like our 3PL kind of hook and news. 3PL audits. I feel like a lot of just people should get into it. How long does it actually take to do a 3PL audit?
This is a big one because we just wrapped up Q1 from a financial perspective. People are wanting to see how quarter one did. I recommend doing this if you have the SOPs to do it monthly if you can. Just make sure you're getting those invoices from your 3PLs. Now, coming from a 3PL and telling others to audit their 3PL is a different thing because we very much want to ensure that we're auditing every invoice that's going out. We're making sure that we are doing our best there, and then pushing our clients to do the same, making sure we're using the right box sizes. Are we using the box sizes that you recommended, right? So there are these 9, and I have them written down here, but there are 9 points of an audit that we need to make sure that are always getting just rectified, and you're auditing them and you're making sure that you're dotting the I's, crossing the T's, etc. And so the first one, I'll rattle them off. Let's see if we have any questions though. But the 9 line items to pull every quarter, every month to audit your 3PL. Number 1, dim weights and re-rates. Make sure that the dimensions are accurate and that the rates according to those dimensions are accurate and that you're getting charged what the carrier is supposed to be charging you. Now, obviously, we have them, other 3PLs have them as like a 10% surcharge for those rates, just so you can negotiate back and forth. Make sure that that's all written down. Accessory stack. So when it comes to, all right, well, what else is in your audit? Is there residential surcharges, liftgate fees, inside delivery, Saturday delivery? Like a lot of these individual line item fees do add up. Sometimes they're 10, 15 cents, they nothing big. But compare those month over month. Are they going up at the same rate that your overall carrier costs are going up, etc.? Just make sure that those are audited. Number three, minimum billable weights, right? Make sure that your minimum billable weights are on there. Number four, fuel surcharge math. Now, we're getting fuel surcharges hit up all the time based on certain time periods. Make sure that you're aware of those surcharges on the pod. We do try to make sure that those are outlined and voiced across the board, across from Amazon surcharges, across from what was the one, UPS or FedEx surcharges, right? Like they're all joining in, and FedEx and UPS are kind of the worst because they will charge you those surcharges 3 months later, like the ones that we called out, residential surcharges and liftgate surcharges, etc. Number five, it's going to be pallet versus parcel breakdown. So are you LTL? Are you small parcel? What's the difference? What's the comparison? Are you shipping out the right way for those particular shipments? Number six is your receiving fees. And this is where like we push our clients to give us these purchase orders. What are we going to receive? What are we going to expect? Is it expected or is it unexpected? Because if it's unexpected, we will charge you a little bit more because we have to drop what we're doing and get that off the floor and into a spot. So we want to make sure that everything is churning. If we can plan for it, great, you don't have to pay for it. But if it's unplanned, then yeah, we do have to, drop everything, hire a different shift for it, etc., depending on how big that order is. So please give us those purchase orders. Stay on top of that for all of our clients out there. Kit and bundling fees, right? Make sure, because I've seen so many. We talk to a lot of 3PLs here in Utah. We talk to a lot of clients using those 3PLs in Utah. Some of our clients are in the building, use different 3PLs, right? And it's a big world, so that's totally fine with us. But we do hear horror stories of like, oh, they just started kidding everything, or they said that when they looked at it, there's a fee, right? 3PLs are full of fees. I understand why after running one for a few years now, that why there's so many fees, because there's no margin. But it's a difficult spot for those 3PLs, and sometimes it's taken advantage of. They take advantage of you because they're like, well, I had to look at this product or count it again because I miscounted it. You shouldn't be paying for their mistakes, right? But you should be giving them, as if it was your own 3PL, the best opportunity to win. So you do want to make sure SOPs are clear, etc., but also make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of. Eight, which is the worst, the possible thing, is return processing. SOPs here are going to be different across the board for every client. So make sure that your SOPs are aligned and that they're also being accounted for correctly and accurately with your 3PL. And the last one, number nine, incentive and tier tracking. So we have incentives for our customers who move through. We're not the best price, obviously, but we incentivize them if they increase volume, they hit different things. We're part of their team, and we have the room then to save. If you are able to save us time and money, well, then we'll save you money and time as well. And so those are the biggest things. Now, tracking those incentives is going to be where it comes down to it. We try to track them as best we can. If you hit X, you get Y. And so if you can make sure and monitor that from a financial perspective, from an operator's perspective on your guys' team, those are the biggest ones. So we'll try and list them down below, and we'll write up a blog to kind of itemize that and how we do it. So make sure you catch those ones as well. But that's our tactical deep dive into the 3PL audit.
Thank you so much for that. It kind of seems like some tedious work, but also sounds like fun. So my question for you, which of these like 9 line items often get leaked or just get missed?
It's not actually on the list, but I would say that it's under like receiving. The storage fees, this might be a bonus item I would ask on here, is storage fees. We onboarded a client not too long on the platform, and we visited their location. We kind of talked through it, and they're like, yeah, we got charged for like 200 pallets, but I only sent them 75 pallets from our warehouse. And it's because they take a pallet down, they stack it somewhere else, and the pallet's probably 2 feet off the ground, and it should be like 5 feet off the ground, right? And so you're thinking, well, why are they splitting up pallets and taking up more pallet space? From my perspective, it's like that's not very efficient. And you're kind of lying to your customer, your client base, because you're basically charging them, more than 2x the pallet storage that you said. So we do like an allocation of pallets so that because our clients move through inventory quickly. So we're saying, hey, you're going to pay for X amount of pallet spaces, and that's where you're going to keep them. If we need more, we'll let you know. But those who just do like, hey, you pay, 15, $20 a pallet space, and then next minute you're at like 30 pallet spaces, but you only expect to be at 15. You make sure you have those dialed in, because when it comes down to the receiving, like, hey, I sent you this many pallets. Now, if they're split up, if they're X, Y, and Z, they have certain bins, they better give you a good rate. We try to pick from pallets. And there's just some systems there that help a lot. But I would audit that. That's probably one of the biggest places where you see leakage, because it's not something that you're really tracking. You're not there. And one of these locations, one of our competitors, they don't let their customers, walk the floor, NDAs and stuff like that. And that makes sense. They'll take a picture and show me what these pallets are. I work with other 3PLs from the marketing side, and they're really just clear. Yeah, here's all your pallets. Here's what it is. If there is any shadiness around there, like just double check it. Just make sure, push on them as much as you can, because it's not fair for you, especially with all of these new fees coming up from a brand's perspective. You got to be able to save where you can. This should be more of a team and partnership than it is just, hey, let me just grab you for everything you got. So,
Okay, yeah, makes sense. I think 2026 is going to be a really good year for just everybody learning how to save money. So that's a good transition into like where we're going now. There's more fees coming into Amazon. We got aged inventory and stuff there, so we can talk a little bit about that. But yeah, aged inventory piece. What do we think about that? I know there's bleeds on day 181 this year, and then how does that change how we plan for Q3?
well, this one's going to be a big one because it's going to add up significantly. Now, this is not including AWD. So if you're not utilizing AWD, you don't think it's worth it, definitely do a deep dive. That's a completely separate pod here. This is just for those sellers who are shipping into FC, a fulfillment center on Amazon. So like if you're one day 180, I think you're at like 15 cents, and then you're past that, you could tier all the way up to you're paying like 650-ish per square foot. That's a lot. Whatever is bigger, I think it is too, 15 cents or 650. And so if you're like small unit size of 15 cents and it takes up that much, you better just keep it lean in the FC, right? So we have pretty good storage rate fees, especially on the tiered side if you're holding a lot more with us. But you're going to save a lot more if you have warehouse it yourself, warehouse it in your garage, warehouse it at your 3PL versus warehousing it in Amazon FC if you need something longer than 6 months. If you need something longer than 6 months, then one, you need to make sure that you're ordering correctly, first off, and two, that you have a really good relationship with a long-term storage facility, be it AWD, be it your grandma's basement, be it wherever you can find storage space to put it. You better have good terms there, because Amazon will take it as soon as it crosses over 180 days. That'll also limit your FC score, so you're not going to be able to ship in more of other inventory if you have overstock of a particular item. I've seen some clients just get so pissed off they go straight FBM across the board for their entire business, which does impact you, obviously. But just because they just needed a reset year, which is crazy to say. So, yeah, that's what I would say, is just be careful with those things and make sure that you're just on top of it as much as you can be.
Cool. Yeah. I actually like this segment a lot, just going into how and what ways can we just discuss right now what an operator should do listening to this episode, and like what is the single action that they should do to just, hey, here's what's going on, here's are these fees, this is what you should do today. This advice comes from Anada.
Yeah, if you're getting close to 180, you're thinking, all right, what sales can I do to move through inventory to reduce that count? What can I do to increase it? And don't just reduce it for reducing its sake, reduce it for increasing your organic ranking on keywords and advertising, on making sure your BSR is healthy. Prepare yourself for Prime Day, right? So, like, always line these up with your promotional calendar, big seasonality, with what inventory is on hand, and make sure you plan with forecasting as much as you can. I met a gentleman over the week. We'll try and get him on the pod, but over last week we were at the Commerce Catalyst event in Salt Lake City, which was a really amazing event. We met somebody there that does a lot of this forecasting, financial planning as well, because they're so intertwined with each other. And he would actually be a really good one to join on the pod for just FBA prep, or sorry, not FBA. Well, yeah, maybe FBA prep, but Prime Day prep, just making sure that everybody is in a good spot to do this on. So I would say make sure that you're aligning your forecasting with big deals. And if you're misforecasted a little bit or a lot of it, figure out creative ways to move through that inventory. TikTok, give that inventory away to TikTokers, ship it from Amazon, connect the TikTok shop with Amazon FBA and send their inventory that way, so that they're producing inventory or producing videos for you. Like, there's so many creative ways to reduce that inventory count while potentially increasing sales. Do not do it just for doing its sake. Be creative for sure.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And I did have one more question. Do you think you have enough time for that, or?
Oh man, I don't. Yeah, of course I do. Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So let's say someone, sole operator, is doing $1 million and they hear all this, they're listening to our podcast. Where do they start?
Call us immediately. We're going to start trying to bring in like scheduled calls to this. Like, anybody can schedule an audit, a Q&A basically, and we'll record them and post them. But we would love to just be put on the hot spot and see what we could do for them, right? If they're okay to just jump on the pod and do it. But I'd say call us, because I was listening, and this is nothing, because those are I know that they're super smart people, and when they're put on the spot in front of an event right there, I was thinking, I can go on stage. You probably won't find me on stage in a while, but I can go on stage and answer those questions, because they're just trying to answer a question to everybody, and it's not that easy. Like, everybody's situation is different. And so what I would say is, like, call us. Don't just go on YouTube and figure it out, because your situation is not going to be the same situation as everybody else. Now, it'll get you 70% of the way there, but it's that 30% to completion that really makes or breaks it, right? It's like kind of like AI. Like, hey, AI, build me this app. Cool, it's done. But is it what you want? No, it's not. You still got to put in that 30% effort to fine tune it. And so I would say call Gabe, call myself, call Spencer. We'll put the link down in the description where you could like book a call, and let's just deep dive into it. We'll try and do a few a week, but you do need an audit. You do need to like sit down with that person and see what you could do differently than your competitors, and how we could help you. So it's kind of a sloppy plug, but I would say it's my best answer.
No, it's important. Well, thank you. That's all my questions. I mean, this is great information. I think this would help any operator out there, and we'll make sure we share it around. But yeah.
Cool. Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate everybody listening in on today's episode. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Be sure to go to the description, book a call with us, like we just mentioned, because we would love to see what you're doing, how we could support you, what issues you have, from customer support to marketing to forecasting to the bottom line. But we will catch you guys all on the next one. See ya.